Hi guys, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I'm so excited to talk about season two. So I know in season two, we're going to get a deeper dive into all the characters. What are your favorite parts about playing Carlos and Seb?
I think just the dynamic between the two is always fun to play, and any scene with Joe, I know it's going to be a good time. So, yeah, I think just kind of seeing where the writers are going to take it.
It's awesome.
Yeah, my favorite part. Oh, was that good enough?
I mean, that's great. I'm so happy. I'm a really big fan of the show. I love both of your characters. What were your reactions when you found out that you'd be playing your characters?
You mean characters in the show within the show, or like Seb?
Both of you.
Um, I was so freaking excited. I mean, of course, I grew up a huge fan of the movies. So to be able to come in and be a part of this next generation in this new and exciting way, I was just over the moon excited. And then, of course, to actually be doing a musical within the show, any part that you get to play in a show within a show is such a blast.
Definitely. And for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely like a dream come true. I remember just reading the breakdown for Carlos and reading, I think it said like he was an avid iced coffee drinker and he loved Beyonce and he was be like most voted to be famous. I was like, this is like actually me. So so I was like just so crazy excited that a character like this would even exist.
Do you guys ever bring any parts of yourself to your character at all, or do you relate to them in any way?
Oh, I totally do. I think at heart, Seb is such a theater kid, and I totally am and was such a theater kid growing up. So that's definitely a part. I mean, not everything about Seb I relate to, but definitely the theater kid aspect for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Just like his a constant obsession with all things Broadway and
Mhm.
keeping up to date with pop culture is are definitely me.
Amazing. And I know the show, of course, has a lot of musical components to it. And you mentioned you like Broadway. Do you have a favorite musical?
Yeah, I think we both are like really into the Woods, but also like a big one for me right now is Six.
Mhm.
Um,
I love
just
the soundtrack.
yeah, just those girls belting out. Like you should see me driving down like anywhere. I'm like screaming in my car.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he said Into the Woods, and I agree with that. I think there's so many great themes in that show, and I feel like every time I return back to it, I like find more and more to discover. But also, Legally Blonde is a pretty great musical. That's something that just popped into my head. I was like, I can always jam to Legally Blonde.
Definitely. I'll have to check that one out. And you both have a lot of scenes together. Do you have a favorite one that you've filmed so far?
Ooh.
Mm,
It could be of season
I
one.
think that first scene, yeah, I think that first scene we filmed in the homecoming episode, whenever we were at the dance together, even though it's such a short little scene, like I think that was just such a special moment for both of us, just to be able to show two boys dancing together on screen for the first time in like Disney
Hmm.
history. Really, I think that was just huge, and I'm so glad we were able to do that, and hopefully in the most honest way.
Definitely. And this, are you going to answer or?
Oh no, no, go ahead.
And this show, of course, is about the high school experience. What were your high school experiences like?
Oh, very different. We didn't really have a theater program at my high school, so I was kind of it was kind of up to me. But I think it was a good experience. I mean, I always had fun. I hated waking up early and actually having to do classwork, but I loved the social aspect of school.
Definitely.
Yeah, I feel the same way. About I feel like my high school, we did have a nice music department, and I think that's been something I've been enjoying of like coming back, like thinking back on as we do our show now.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was such a theater kid in high school too, so it was pretty similar to Seb, I would say.
Awesome. How did you both get started in theater or the entertainment industry? When did you figure out that's what you wanted to do?
For me, it was definitely my mom. She saw that I didn't really take an interest into any other sport or extracurricular activity they tried to put me in, and there was a lot. So she kind of saw that I liked to sing and dance, and she just found a local children's theater group, and that's kind of where it started. And then professionally, it's definitely something that came later on in life. I thought I was going to do something completely different. And I was like, well, I have to at least try it before I kind of just give it up. And luckily it all worked out.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm the fourth child of four children. So my older siblings all sort of tried theater at a young age, and I sort of got to watch them do that, and of course was super inspired and tried it too very young. And I started actually acting professionally in theater at like 7. So it's been sort of my whole life.
Awesome. And of course, I have to ask, the show is based, of course, on High School Musical, the franchise. Do you have a favorite song from the original movies?
I always say my favorite song from the original movies is What I've Been Looking For, but the slow version.
Oh, I love that one too.
It's just so pretty.
It is.
I bounce back and forth. It's always like fabulous. I want it all. Status quo. It depends what the vibe is.
I totally get that. And of course, season 2 is going to be bigger and better. What are you most excited for fans to see?
Ooh, I mean, there's so much fun stuff packed into the show. And I think I'm most excited for people to, obviously our show's heavy on music, is to hear the music that we've all been hearing for the last year, basically, to actually, I don't know, get to play it in your car or hear it, on your phone for the first time. I think it's going to be fun.